All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing today on this Friday, April 30th, 2021? I want to thank you for joining me here tonight for another metallic episode of Music of Destruction. Bringing you guys the very best in metal-related content right here on YouTube on one of the only metal channels you'll ever need. There are some other good ones out there for sure. If you missed anything in the past week, click that eye in the upper right corner of the screen. You can get caught up on all my latest content. I would certainly appreciate it. If you want me to review anything, make suggestions in the comment section below. No slam, deathcore, metalcore, or modern tech death, please and thank you. If you enjoy those genres, great. I do not. To each his own. Please remember to subscribe, turn on that notification bell, select all for all notifications. This is one of the hardest working metal channels on YouTube, bar none, and no one's going to give it to you quite the way I do, unbridled, passionate, raw, uncensored, and at times controversial, regardless of people's opinions. Welcome to Metal Album Warfare Fridays on the channel here once again, and tonight we are going deep into the underground as always on this channel with two DSBM elites doing battle, and tonight we got Lyrinx Nihilistic Purity going up against Anti's The Insignificance of Life. Now I was able to track down these cassettes a couple years ago, and I'm very happy that I did. Anti, The Insignificance of Life was originally released in 2006 on AOP Records, of course. Now, the version I've got is the reissued cassette, which was released in 2016 on Children of Night Productions. Lyrinx's Nihilistic Purity was released in 2007 on cassette from Todestrieb Records. Now, both of these bands play a very despondent, depressive black metal that is dripping with melancholy, desperation, fragility, misanthropy, and despair, and I have reviewed The Insignificance of Life. If you want to go to Metal Reviews playlist, you got to scroll down a whole bunch, but it is there. Or Lyrinx Nihilistic Purity, sorry. So let's just get into it, shall we? First up, we have Lyrinx Tides of Self-Destruction versus Anti's Nothing. Tides of Self-Destruction, one of the greatest opening tracks I've ever heard on a DSBM album. It's full of desperation and like hopelessness and a will to just give up and let everything fall to fucking pieces. The riffing, drumming, and bass work and vocals really convey this, and there's a fragility in the air of this fog-filled atmosphere that just pulls you into its despondency and its fucking despair and hatred and all. I mean, obviously suicidal ideation is very intact here, and it's an amazing track that's very compelling emotionally. Anti's Nothing is almost like on the opposite end of the spectrum, and I don't mean in terms of any less misanthropic or dark. What I mean is it's almost like somebody who's already crossed over and now they're looking back on the world of the living from the ethereal plane. That's the sound I get with Anti's Nothing, and in fact the whole album Insignificance of Life conveys this very effectively, and I got to give a point to both, but because they're both on the opposite ends in terms of one is basically on the side of somebody who's already passed on and died. The other is somebody who's on the verge of death. So that's what I get from these two tracks. So I'm giving a point to each. Next up, Lyrinx Nihilistic Purity versus Anti's Landscape in Minor. And you know what? Nihilistic Purity, of course, is conveying the emotions of someone who's completely given up on life, someone who doesn't give a fuck about anything anymore. And the guitars and drums, bass, and all that stuff really work very hard to create that emotional, compelling feeling that you're going to get from this. And it's not an easy listen. Both of these releases, if you don't like very dark music, you will not like this at all. They will have an effect on your mood. After all, that's the point of DSBM, and it's the main reason I love this music so much is because of how honest and compelling and real it all is. Whereas Anti's Landscape in Minor is like almost like the sound of death itself. It's very abysmal, it's very murky, and it sounds like emanations from the void, essentially. Emanations from the void is what it sounds like. The guitar work is absolutely on point to convey this atmosphere, as is the drumming, the bass, and the vocals. Both vocalists do really well, but I feel like Lyrinx's vocalist is a lot more insane. He's very shrill, and you can just tell there's a certain mental breakdown occurring throughout this recording, whereas Anti's Landscape in Minor, yes, there is a lot of despondency there, but I got to give a point to both. Next up, we have Lyrinx Another Life Ready to End versus Anti's Invocation. Lyrinx do a fucking hell of a job on this one, conveying absolute hopelessness and somebody who's just done, completely finished, doesn't want to live anymore, and it's all over the track. The atmosphere is very present here, it's very intact, And there's going to be peaks and valleys that you're going to go through on this recording, but it's definitely one that will have you listening for its duration if you're a fan of this music. The atmosphere is fucking flawless. Auntie's Invocation, very flawless as well, but again, it's on a different side of things. It is very depressive, but it's also almost lifeless, like very lifeless to the point where the music was formed by itself, if you will, and I can really feel that on this track, so I'm giving a point to each as well. Next up, Lyrinx, Deconstruction of the Will to Live versus Auntie's Farewell, Escape into the Beyond. Deconstruction of the Will to Live is a mental fragile breakdown of complete insanity, possible psychosis occurring on this track. It sounds very desperate, and the wails almost sound like he's literally cutting himself up during the recording. It actually reminds me a lot of Silencer with Lyrinx's Nihilistic Purity. It really does. Not quite as insane, but definitely on that border. It's very borderline Silencer here, and it's fucking incredible. Whereas Auntie's Escape, or Farewell, Escape into the Beyond, definitely sounds like it's emitting from the beyond, and the atmosphere on both tracks is absolutely fucking flawless. I hope you guys can find these two fucking tapes, because this is amazing stuff. So I'm giving a point to each. Finally, we have Lyrinx Exit versus Auntie's 0 point. As the song title suggests, that's exactly what you get from both of these songs. Very despondent, very funereal, very solitary, misanthropic, cold, isolated, and absolutely dripping with emotion and despair. Absolutely fucking perfect. Now, there is a 6th track here from the Insignificance of Life, but there's only 5 on Nihilistic Purity, so I could only compare 5 from each, of course. So let's add up the scores. So we've got Nihilistic Purity coming in with 5 points, and the Insignificance of Life comes in with 5 points. So we have a tie. And I knew we were going to have a tie because both of these albums are absolute classics in the Depressive black metal catalog. And if you love this style of metal, this will definitely be up your alley, and I cannot recommend these albums enough. Absolutely incredible. And please support physical. Don't download, don't stream. Buy your music, please and thank you. Guys, so there you have it. Another metal album. Warfare is in the books here on Music of Destruction. I hope you guys enjoyed the premiere tonight. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on that bell so you don't miss anything. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Music of Destruction. Join the Facebook group if you want. Facebook.com/groups/Music of Destruction. My Teespring store open, teespring.com/music-of-destruction. The Seed episode 32, The History of Thrash Metal, part 2, going up on Patreon. I'm having trouble with their servers. They're working on fixing them. It's ready to go. I just got to wait until all the maintenance is done. I don't know what's happening with Canadian servers for Patreon, but I'm trying to get that up to you guys. $5 a month gets you access. Patreon.com/music of destruction. Your support helps keep this channel going, as well as helps us with Reviews on the Run, movie and game reviews. Colton James and myself. It's going to be awesome. Reviews on the Run. We're going to be doing an awesome production with that. We're also working on a mafia crime drama. Let's check out a clip of one of the promos.
Notice that the walls of the theater are painted in black.
Something? He's been
Sorry,
here.
guys.
How do you know?
Looks like I lost him. There's no sign of him anywhere.
Excuse me, Doc.
And we are back. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share the video. Thank you for watching once again. Have an awesome night. Till next time, take care, everybody.